body, which means that we start with men's doubles, then we progress to women's singles, men's singles, women's doubles and mixed doubles. Now, just to remind you, of course, at the group stage, all 5 matches within the tie must be contested. It's only when we get to knockout stage that any dead matches, once the overall tie has been decided, that we will drop any dead matches. But here in the group stage, all 5 contested. What an interesting 5th match that is, the mixed doubles, because we've got the former world number 5s against the former world number 3s. So if it was 2-2 by that stage, it will be very interesting indeed. Well, I'm Jill Clark, and I'm delighted to say that I'm sitting alongside Steen Peterson, former head coach of the Danish national team. And Steen, looking at that lineup, I guess 1 or 2 surprises in a selection. Yeah, it is a surprise, but of course what an awful lot of people will be looking forward to is the first appearance of the former world number 1, Lee Chong Wei, in the men's singles after serving his doping violation ban. He's back in world badminton. But as you can see, the players coming on to court for the first of our matches, which is men's doubles, and it is the current world number 1s, Lee Yong Dae and Yeon Sung for Korea, up against Go Vi Shem and Tan Kiong of Malaysia. So this is a very interesting match because we have the Malaysian pair there were the Asian Games bronze medalists last year, and their opponents, of course, were the Asian Games silver medalists last year in Incheon in Korea. So for the world number 1s for Korea, obviously they will be looking to get their team off to a winning start. I know we say this every time, Steve, but obviously vital in team competitions that you get off to that flyer.
The first match will be mixed doubles between Sri Lanka and Seychelles. Archini Nimita against Camilla Crichton.
3号场地将要进行的是中国香港队与巴西队的第1场比赛，男子双打由柯亚秋、郑俊勇、
Absolutely, and the responsibility with these 2 men's doubles pair. Get the team off to a flyer. That's what they will be wanting to do. So the Korean pair, as I say, they are world number 1s. Lee Yong Dae and this man, Young Sung. Young Sung, 28 years of age, brought up in
The first match on top 4 will be mixed doubles between USA and France.
was world number 2, his former partner, so he's a pretty good player. But when you look at Lee Yong Dae, former Olympic mixed doubles champion, the 26-year-old from Korea, he's been world number 1 in men's doubles with 3 different partners. That really is an extraordinary record. Jung Jae-sung and Ko Sung-hyun are the other 2 men with whom he has been world number 1. There is Go Vi Shen, the 25-year-olds. He and his partner up 4 places in the world ranking this week. 229. They have their minimum number of tournaments to give any sort of a realistic ranking, and that's 10 tournaments. And they're Tan Wee Kiong, 25 years of age, though he'll turn 26 later this month. Born in Sabah, the island of Borneo. Really came to prominence, the Malaysian pair, Steen, I think, when they were selected for the Thomas Cup campaign, and of course Malaysia went all the way through to the Thomas Cup final last year, losing out to Japan in that wonderful, wonderful final in Delhi. Well, there you can see 2 previous meetings, and both occasions has been won by the Malaysians. The last, as you saw, was at the semi-final stage of those Asian Games, hence the bronze medal for the Malaysian pair. And of course the Korean pair lost out in the finals, the Indonesians, Muhammad Hassan and Hendra Setiawan. So that last time they met at the Asian Games, it was a little one-sided. And I suppose, Steen, as the players get ready to start the first match within the tie, if I compare the two pairs, I think of absolute consistency with the Koreans, and I think of the Malaysians of having huge talent and potential, but not yet showing the consistency that I'm sure they would like to bring to their game.
At least one of his knees, so consistency is probably the difference between these two pairs.
Yeah, I can tell you his first surgery on his knee was when he was just 15 years old. That's not a good omen for the future, is it, if you're struggling with injuries from such a young age?
On my right, Korea, represented by Yong and Seong. And on my left, Malaysia, represented by Vishen and Tan Kiong. Malaysia to serve. Tan Kiong to Yong. Level. Play.
So this Group 1D tie gets underway with the men's doubles.
Service over.
And now the Korean coach Choi Min-ho, who was another player who showed huge potential as a junior silver medalist at the World Junior Championships in Melbourne going back to 1998, but never really progressed into the senior ranks. I'm not quite sure whether that was injury problems or whether he just chose the route of going to the coaches. Now there, a quick glimpse of the Malaysian bench and our friend and former colleague there, Morten Frost, now with the Malaysian team. Well, we talked about the desire to get your team off to a really good start, and I suppose that pressure and desire also equates into a bit of self-imposed pressure as well.
Yeah, I think so, and especially here in the first tie of the tournament, where you're not. Oh,
that's unbelievable! What a shot!
Especially here in the first tie of the tournament, where you're not really familiar with the playing conditions and so on, and we can see that the Koreans have looked a little bit shaky here in the first 5 rallies, so we're waiting for them to sort of settle in.
Service over. 2-4.
Well, one assumes that the Koreans should come into this men's doubles match, this particular men's doubles pair, full of confidence, because of course the last tournament they played. Service fault called by Jakob Simberg, our service judge, struck above the waist. Last tournament they played, the Asian Championships, they won.
Yeah.
Just checking with the service judge what the fault was called for, and it was called for struck above the waist.
Play.
I did think the whole Korean team, though, in the very first tournament of the major tournament, Super Series event, All England, I thought in generalisation that Koreans were perhaps not as I had expected them to be.
No, they seemed a little bit off form there, but I think most of the teams are focusing on the Olympic qualification period starting with this tournament here. But a very positive start for the Malaysians, who definitely want to try to shock these two Korean players here. So important for them to get off to a good start after the
Service over. 3-6.
big loss at the Asian Games. 6 and 15 is not
No.
a lot, so in order to get confidence, it's so important to get a good start.
Oh, it was a good return of serve.
Service over. 7-3.
Oh, they have made a good start. Yeah, good aggressive play. Broke the strings of his racket. Did well to control that. Lee Yong Dae.
4-7.
Yeah, this is a super angle though. Well, as he's getting himself a new racket and applying the grip powder, I have to ask you, Steen, about how a change of environment, which has obviously happened for the Malaysian team. They've got Lee Chong Wei back in the squad after serving his suspension. They've got a new director of performance in Morton Frost, and how much of an influence do you think that those two influencing factors will have on lifting the team and lifting the spirits?
I think they have huge influence. In this tournament, I think probably the most that Lee Chong Wei is eligible again for play. But on a little bit longer term, of course, also the influence of a new performance director. We've seen it already with some of the selections for both this tournament and the tournaments coming up, that a change is underway, and not a small change.
Yeah, well, I'm going to come back to that later, because I know you have your ideas on perhaps a change in philosophy and within the Malaysian team camp. But this is a good little comeback by the Koreans. Just 1 point in it now. And I suppose as far as the Malaysians are concerned, they've got to stop that happening, which is a good low serve from Lee Yong Dae, and then Lee Yong Dae absolutely commanding the front of the court. Interesting that the Malaysians had a little word with the service judge there.
Yeah, asking him if he was looking carefully enough, because he felt that it was high. And I must say, at the World Championships last year in Copenhagen, one of the things that I noted was that Lee Yong Dae was serving considerably better than he used to do. That's good for him.
Any technical reason? Has he brought his serve a little higher?
I think he's brought it higher, and the racket is more horizontal.
Service over.
Yeah.
8-all.
Oh, he's been called service fault again. Yes, Jakob Sundberg, our service judge from Denmark. Oh, now hang on a minute, what's going on here? Yeah, all the umpires quite definite. Play. Service judge's call and decision is final. Once he's made that call, you can't argue. You can have a difference of opinion, but you're not going to get the call reversed. It's a good smash from Yu Young Sun.
9-8.
Pushed it long.
Good move towards the net by Yeon.
10.
Normally not his task of making these moves. Normally it's Lee Yong Dae, but could be very, very useful if the opponents are unable to predict who is actually making the moves, trying to change the defense around.
Yeah, good smash. But don't you think that's where this Korean partnership has got that extra dimension? I mentioned a little earlier that Lee Yong Dae has been world #1 with Ko Sung Hyun, who was his partner before teaming up with Yeon, and we all wondered about the change. Why were they changing the partnerships yet again?
Yeah.
And I think it's that ability of Yeon to actually take the forward stance and play from the net that gives them a little more potential than the previous partnership.
Yeah, because I think most of us can agree that Lee Yong-dae is among the top 3 players in men's doubles in the world, and the tactical point of view is always to try to get the his partner towards the net and let Lee Yong-dae work at the backcourt. That's difficult here.
Yeah. Well, ups and downs, ebb and flow of the opening game, and it means that the Malaysians have a 1-point advantage at the mid-game interval on a run of 3 straight points. Well, this has all the trappings of a very, very good encounter. Generates a powerful smash. Now that's always an interesting thing to me, the way Lee Yong-dae is so far back in his defensive stance, and quite often when it's hit just down his forehand side, he still uses that backhand defence. We'll keep an eye out for that later on in the match. I suppose you coaches would technically want a player to use the forehand defence, would you, or you don't mind that?
No, I think we don't mind. Generally, it's up to what the player feels is more natural.
So 11-10 in this opening game. First match within the tie.
Short lift, but lucky for the Koreans there.
Govi Shen smashing across the body.
Yeah, but look at that cross shot there. Wow.
Yeah.
Excellent shot from Kiong.
Now, what were we just talking about? Trying to play that backhand defence when on the forehand side. And if it is too wide, that's where he really struggles.
Yeah.
Well, doing as you suggested, perhaps most players tactically would naturally try and do, which is to keep Lee Yong-dae at the back of the court.
Keep him at the back, because he's not as dangerous from the back as he is at the net. Really, really lethal at the net. And also sort of try to get him away from where he's most confident.
Oh, that's
well
well taken.
Yeah.
My goodness me.
14-11.
Missed it.
Service over.
He's going for it, Kiong.
14.
Yeah, he's ready, but simply a miss hit. Excellent control there from
14.
the Koreans.
Service over. 15-13. Play.
That's such a good smash, isn't it? Almost seems to have hang time in the air.
Yeah. And we talked about the Koreans with the preferred front player position, back player position. I think the same goes for the Malaysians, that the better position is with the Go here, now serving at the back.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And Tan has been playing excellently in this first game, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, that's a pity because he came forward at the right time. He was doing the right thing.
And he just needs to continue doing that. There will be some mistakes, but he can't allow the Koreans to control the front court.
Yeah. Well, having had those two service faults called, he's now lost the rhythm on that serve. And there's a service error.
Play.
Well, one of the many rules of serving is that the shuttle must be struck below the waist, and the waist is defined as below the lowest rib. Oh, that's a super return, isn't it? Oh, goodness me, that was good.
Service over. 15-17.
Deflected by the net cord. My own perfection. Well, the backhands really did all the damage from Go V Shen.
19-15.
That one.
And they've been using that a lot. The backhand cross towards the Koreans' backhand side.
Service over. 16-18.
Oh, good defense. Oh, he stepped into that.
They're not afraid of the smashes of the
Oh.
Yong Dae, but that was well placed.
Yeah. Yeah, no wonder a nod of approval from the Korean coach. Dissecting the Malaysians, both leaving it for the other, straight down the middle, in between them. And that is always such a clever shot in doubles. But you've got to be accurate with that. They almost seemed to be hiding after that serve. Oh yeah, it was loose. Yeah. That was a gift for the Koreans there. So all level again. 18 all. service fault called again. Once again on Lee Yong-dae, and he looks to the service judge.
Yeah, but it's way too high.
He's moving his foot as well, Steen.
Yeah, but that's simply illegal, and and he needs to lower it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I agree with the service judge.
Yeah.
You know, players have been testing the limits and testing the limits time and time again.
And it's good to see a service judge having the courage to call it even when it's close.
Yeah. Crucial stage of the game. If it's a fault, it's a fault. It doesn't matter what time it is. You're quite right.
Powerful smashes from Go.
20, game point, 19.
So the first game point opportunity falls to Malaysia. Oh my goodness me!
20 all.
Well. Extra points required until there's a clear 2-point winning margin.
That's a fault again.
And that's good badminton, good rally.
21-20.
So having just survived a game point, now the Koreans have a game point themselves. Lee Yong-dae to serve. Will he be called again? No. Their first game points opportunity, and Lee Yong-dae and Yoo Young-sung take the opening game for Korea. My goodness me, living on the edge. 22-20 the scoreline. 21 minutes needed for that opening game. Oh, I wish we could hear what he's saying. I can't hear him. Well, Morten Frost, former world #1 men's singles player, former national coach in Denmark and Malaysia and South Africa, now back. Former colleague of ours, of course, as well, but now back with Malaysia.
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1,
And a good win.
20 seconds.
First gain for the Koreans here, because they didn't really get their game established, but they still managed to pull it off in the end.
Second game. Bravo. Right.
So, as Steen Peterson says, the Koreans won a game to the advantage after game number 1. But Steen, your comments there
Service over.
make me a little bit nervous for Malaysian fans, because the implication is that the Malaysians played well, but they still couldn't actually secure that opening game, and you feel that the Koreans can actually play at a higher level.
Yeah, probably they'll be a little bit more confident now. I think the Malaysians put them under pressure in the first game and had quite an easy task of winning the attack on the Koreans, which is normally quite difficult because they have a very, very solid defense.
Yeah.
Service over.
He's not serving well either. Go. Of course, there's a different kind of pressure. We talked about the pressure of playing the first match, but also playing the pressure of playing a team match. Playing for your country instead of just playing for yourself in a tournament. I know you're, of course, Lee Chung-wei is still playing for Malaysia, but he's just himself now. They desperately want to give their team a good start.
Yeah. That's good play. I suppose to explain that a little bit further, the weight of shared responsibility. If you go onto court as a player and you lose, then you've only affected yourself. If you go on in a team competition, you've let the whole team down, and it's that shared responsibility.
And even though Malaysia are the clear underdogs in this team tie, everybody dreams of winning, and if you have a dream of Malaysia beating Korea here, I think the most likely 3 matches that they could find is the matches that includes male players. So there's increased pressure on Go and Tan here, because we must rank the Korean ladies, both ladies singles and ladies doubles, to be quite a bit stronger than the Malaysians. So they must try to get a win in men's doubles, men's singles, and then the final match, the mixed doubles.
Which could be an absolute thriller, the former world number 5s against the former world number 3s.
It could be done.
Absolutely.
4-1.
Also really important to get off to another good start here in the second game, believing in what the coaches told you in the interval.
Service over. 2-4.
There was there was that cross backhand, but this time Lee Yong-dae got it covered.
Yeah, again a little bit in the upward direction instead of downward direction. Service fault is called again.
Service over. 5-2.
And I have to say it's correct.
Yeah.
What I think is a little bit pity is that he was
Look
actually.
Look at it. That's
ridiculous.
That's a good call. It's a good call by the service judge.
It was a little bit of a pity that the Koreans were actually, Lee Yong-dae were allowed to serve, in my opinion, a faulty serve in the end of the first game.
Yeah.
I think for most of these players, they practice hours and hours in order to have a precise short service.
Yeah.
And I think it's really difficult to change the position 5 or 10 centimeters. If it's illegal, there's a good chance it's going to be either illegal throughout the match, or it's going to be really bad if you change it, because of course the things that you practice.
But this is the thing, Steen. I mean, why I understand exactly what you're saying, and players get into the rhythm, and of course human judgment comes into this, subjective opinion, and there will be a difference between one service judge and another.
Yeah.
But in the practice hall, you have got to practice what you think is the cusp of legality and absolute certainty legality, in case you have a service judge that believes that taking it to the limit is actually over the limit.
Yeah. Well, as a coach or a former coach, I would say that you don't have to be absolutely sure of the legality. You just have to feel that the benefit of serving on the edge is bigger than being positive on the legality.
Yep. Very well put. Oh, well
Excellent.
taken. That is Yong at his best. Fantastic.
5, 6.
Oh, that's clever. Very, very clever from Govi Shem. Delightful change of pace.
7, 5.
And that's perhaps one of the things that that Morten Frost can contribute to the Malaysian men's doubles play, that we don't have to play fast-paced all the time. It's actually really, really efficient to play fast-paced, and then just block it.
Yeah. Well, I think the unease that he's experienced on his serve has perhaps affected other departments of his game. How often do you see Yong make an error like that at the net?
Very rarely. He's not confident right now.
No. Oh, look at that defence. Tan Kiong. That is a moment of magic. Take a look at this. Just that slight turn of the body movement, just generating the power from the technique of the shot. Yeah, ball judge gone wrong.
Service over. 6, 9.
Well, of course, the other team in this group, as we saw right at the start, is India. And the interesting thing, Steve, is that India are actually ranked higher than Malaysia as far as the team rankings were concerned when the top 12 teams were decided for this Group 1, which is subdivided into 4 groups. But in my humble opinion, I think that this quite possibly is the strongest group. Do you think in the whole of Group 1?
The dynamite group.
Yeah. D for dynamite. Good one.
Excellent challenge there by Malaysians.
10, 6.
Tan
Yep.
challenge, and Yong got it covered, but he missed it again.
Yeah, he's rattled. It's gone long. And we're off to the mid-game interval. A 5-point advantage for the Malaysians here in the second game. But remember, of course, the Koreans won game number 1. Well, this is a handsome lead. Jeremy Gan, the other coach, Malaysian coach.
Just block it.
Look where his defensive stance is. He's almost on that double service line.
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1,
Yeah, that was another mistake shot, wasn't it?
I must say that normally the stance works really well.
Been that far back.
Yeah, for him, and he's phenomenal also in reaching the drop shots. But of course, one of the keys is to
11, 6.
use a bit steeper attack, not so fast-paced, but quite steep.
Still long.
Service over. 7-11.
I feel a lot of the responsibility in this game lies on Kiong, or perhaps not the responsibility, but the outcome. Can he play at a? Can he be a little bit more consistent at the highest level that we've seen him play today? Then the Malaysians have a good chance. But there's been some easy mistakes as well. If you can cut down on those, they stand a good chance.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, he's been called again. Now, I'm going to start keeping count. I make that 5 so far,
Yeah,
is that right?
I think so.
Yep. Just picking up on that point though, Steen, about the responsibility, as it were, or the outcome of the match, quite possibly dependent on Tanwi Kiong. I also think that he's required, not only for his skills and physicality and reading of the game, I think he has a role to try and keep Govi Shem focused. I think Govi Shem is one of those, he's so talented that he has so many choices that sometimes he tries to do something a little bit too extravagant at the wrong moment. And he needs his partner just to keep him calm and at the right point say, keep it positive, but keep it simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's well played.
10-12.
Oh, that's good. What was you
Yeah, I have a
saying
feeling
about
that that was as high as Lee Yong-dae's serve, but that's, we don't get it here.
Yeah, but look at that angled shot. That's what you were talking about just a moment ago. Don't just look for power, look for the angles. If the Koreans are going to stand that far back on court, not only the block, also look for angles.
Also, if you play a little bit more soft pace, angle shot, you'll have, even though the opponents can return it, you'll have a much better chance, or most likely you'll have a much better chance with the next shot, because it's harder to control if there's variation in it.
This is where I can just sense that the Malaysians have just, I don't know whether they've tightened up or whether they've gone off the boil or quite what's happened, but they've really just let the Koreans back in.
Yeah.
That's
Well played.
clever play from Govi Shen. I initially liked the block from Lee Yong-dae, blocking and then moving forward, but it left a huge gap at the back of the court. That's the one I liked, but his partner's not covering.
No.
Brilliant. That emphasises your point, Steen.
16.
Tanwi Kiong coming forward. Look at that. A deliberate step further forward. Almost a sides attack formation there.
Yeah. And it's so important for Tan that he continues to step forward. He must not hesitate. If he hesitates, he's going to lose it. Put pressure on the front court.
17-12.
Let the Koreans know that I'm there. Good 4 points. The Malaysians there.
Yeah, now that was nice variation on the attacking play. That last smash from Govi Shen much flatter. I think it's about chest height by the time it gets to Young Sung.
Service over. 13-18.
It was his own third shot. Kiong created a lot of problems for him.
So 5 points adrift. Oh, behind the back. Yeah, now that's the sort of extravagance to which I was alluding to earlier.
18.
Just testing out the new racket. Very much a courtesy amongst the players. Oh, good interception.
Excellent rally here. The first rally where we've seen the pairs really settling in, getting their defense working.
Well, that has got to be the longest rally of the match so far. Oh, dear me. Yeah. Well, you wouldn't expect that normally from a Yeon day. So, game point opportunities to level this opening match at 1 game all. It is indeed 1 game apiece. Well, we're going to be treated to a third and deciding game. 21-14 confirms the umpire. And certainly Lee Yong-dae is in a spot of bother. Lost confidence on his serve because of the service faults and losing confidence rapidly with the rest of his game. That's always good to see. I always like the coaching style when the coaches involve the players, and instead of just telling them, they get them involved in the decision-making process. I know that's very much a style of coaching that you always adhered to, Steen.
Yeah, it depends a little bit, because it depends whether you think the players have a plan that will work. But if you think they have, then it's much better to let them do the analysis, because you have a much stronger ownership of it. But you must be ready to intervene if you can see that they're a little bit lost, and be more directive. But yeah, positive for the Malaysians. They've actually played, in my opinion, better both of the two games here. But let's see if they can continue.
Good opening rally to this deciding game, isn't it? My goodness me! Yeah, super badminton. Probably the reason why I always like to coach to involve me, Steen. One of my favourite sayings, or famous sayings actually, back in England is "Tell me I forget, ask me I remember, involve me I know." So when I was involved, I knew, because it had been a joint decision, that that was the right way forward. But it is a dilemma for you coaches. I mean, quite obviously, I mean, we've both recognised that Yong is not playing his normal self. He's had, by my calculation, 5 faults called on his serve. What do you as a coach say to a player in this sort of scenario?
It's really difficult. One of the things that puzzles me is that he hasn't tried a flick serve.
Yeah.
They have the best defense in the world, the Koreans, but they're not using the flick serve. That would be a possibility. And then also to sort of ask Yeon to perhaps take the last 5% off his game, so he does need to play 100%, I think. And slowly get in the game again, avoid fast pace.
But in a way, I mean, that's sort of Yeon's game. If you ask him to change his whole natural style, that's perhaps going to unsettle him even more. So yeah, I've asked you the impossible question, basically.
No, but if you say that he's, for instance, you could say that he's like 60% of the double, and Seong is 40%, or 65%, 35%. It doesn't really matter. But just, he doesn't need to be as many percent as he wants to be today. He can just slow down 5 or 10%, and they will still have a good chance of winning, because Yeon is a capable player, so he can be more responsible here.
That's a very, very good smash.
And I think the Koreans have come out the better pair here in the third game, because they're trying to get the attack, playing more clever shots, and I feel that if they succeed in getting the attack, they will win the match. So it's going to be a battle for the attack.
That's a nice shot.
Yeah, that was the little disguise block from Kiong that really set up the rally.
And that's the bad news for the Koreans, is that Kiong has gotten confidence.
Yeah.
So how stable is that confidence? Is it fragile, or is it gonna continue throughout this third game? I feel that Go is playing his usual normal good game, very powerful in the attack, hard to put pressure on defense.
Yet another error from Yong. Yeah, that's nice. Just a little word from Yeon to his partner. Come on, doesn't matter. Let's keep fighting.
That's well played.
Not a lot you can do against that, really, though, is there?
5-3.
Clever play there by
Service over.
Yeon.
4-5.
Definitely block it a little bit more against Go, because I feel that he's more prone to lift than Tanwi Kiong.
国队的第二场比赛，男子单打由塞班对阵利维克斯，裁判员施罗特、德国、巴基斯坦、扎克、伊朗。
So you realised Malaysia wasn't ready to receive.
Women men's singles. Again, USA against Nevada. Umpire through the tournament. Service time. Iran.
5-all.
Oh. I was about to say what a wonderful interception from Yeon, but he did overdo it. It was wide. We haven't had a challenge yet in this match, have we?
Oh. Good linesman.
We'll be doing Hawkeye out of a job. This is good rally. Oh, must hit it. Ah, unbelievable. Ah! Well, we said that Seong had that capability from the front of the court. Beautifully demonstrated in that rally.
You see where that defensive shot came from. That wasn't really good enough. That was Tanwi Kiong. So if the Koreans can be patient enough in their attack, they will get the possibilities. What a great match to start with.
Yeah, absolutely. His first tie within Group D in the first division. Now, if I was a Malaysian fan, I'd be feeling a little nervous right now, because I think there's been a sign, little signs in the last 2 or 3 rallies that the Malaysians have just gone off the boil.
Yeah, it's so hard to stay on that thin
Yeah,
line.
it isn't.
Of course, you'd like to create a gap for yourself before the interval, but perhaps you'll just settle for being even. Oh, that's a good win for the Koreans.
Yeah. An unbelievable defence initially from the Koreans. Look at that. How dare I criticise him playing that a backhand defence down his forehand side. That was magnificent.
He's not been called in this second game for service fault, has he?
In this third game?
Third game, yeah, third game.
No, I don't think he has. That's a good point. Yeah.
9-6.
6 of the last 7 points have gone to the Koreans. I just sensed it. my goodness me, wasn't that an important point for the Malaysian pair?
Service over. 7-10.
Because 7 of the previous 8 points have gone their opponent's way.
Service over.
Yeah.
11-7.
Well, you said he wasn't
Interval,
serving too
10
well
minutes.
either, Govi Shem. And that's at least a 3rd service error from him. So the advantage at the change of ends is with Korea, and it's a 4-point advantage. 5 minutes shy of the hour mark. Oh, I wonder if we can hear what the Malaysians are saying.
We have to block.
Court 1,
We have
20
to
seconds.
block.
Court 1,
Yeah.
20 seconds. Players. Coach. Coach to the chair.
Yeah, they have to block, and they also have to be a little bit more aggressive in their defense, especially Tan Kiong, because he can't withstand 3, 4, 5 attacking shots directed at himself. So within the first 2 or 3 shots, he needs to do something and move forward in order to take the pressure off himself, and that's a little bit difficult because Go can easily withstand the pressure if the smashes are aimed at him.
Gone wide.
Perhaps I was a bit
12,
too confident in Go there, but he's got a more stable defense than 10.
Oh, service fault called again. Service fault number 6.
8-12.
Well, apart from it looking as if the service judge was absolutely right about being struck above the waist, it really does look to me, especially seeing that again, that he's moving his feet when he serves as well. He's walking into it. And of course, you mustn't move your feet while you're serving. Both feet must be stationary on the ground.
9-12.
Morton getting very animated there.
Yeah, because he feels that this match is winnable.
Yeah.
This is one of the matches that you'd really like to win. You're the underdog, but things are going your way. And right now he feels like it might be slipping away. But let's see if the Malaysians can make a comeback.
Incidentally, that smash, 368, that's 228 miles an hour.
Malaysia challenge.
Whoa, we've got a challenge. Malaysia are challenging. They thought that landed in on the back line.
My first impression was that it was way out, that they were appealing that it should have touched one of the Korean players.
Well, I think your instincts were probably right. I concur with you, Steen, but we will wait for Hawkeye to make the judgments. And here is Hawkeye. And indeed, yep, your instincts were right, Steen. It was long of that back line.
Challenge unsuccessful. One
Oh,
challenge
there we have
remaining.
in slow. It was not as long as I thought it would be.
Well, that was never the same shot, was it? Was it?
Service over.
Couldn't have
13-9. Play.
Good smash again from Go, targeting Yeon.
10-13.
Malaysian teammates and still cheering their men on, but I would suggest that the next couple of points are absolutely crucial. Well, that's a little bit naughty from Govi Shem, just pointing as if to try and influence the line judge that it was out the back. There's no way that was out the back, surely. Just watch what he does with his left arm as this shuffle that. Oh, that's inside the tram line. Goodness me, that's naughty.
Service over. 11-14.
Well, they're nearing the edge of the precipice. They need to make their comeback and get back on level terms sooner rather than later if it's going to happen at all. That's so good from Young Sung.
15-11.
It may look as if it's a nothing shot, but it's got just enough pace on it to make it awkward for the server.
The server can't intercept, and his partner is unable to make a quality shot unless he lifts it to the back court.
Yeah.
Wow. Second time he hits the net court in the service return.
12-15.
Is so well turned round, that rally by the Malaysians, and it was that delightful block first of all, then that interception played towards the half-court area, setting it up for Govi Shem to use his power play.
Really important for the Malaysians right now, because they found a solution to playing the defense. This could go either way still.
Oh, it's called good. There's a challenge there.
Yep.
That has got to be challenged. It was called in.
Malaysia challenge.
Well, there was no hesitation about the challenge from the Malaysians. They were convinced it had gone long, but
they also hoped it would be long.
Yes. Yeah, let's have a look. Hawkeyes made the decision, and indeed it was long. What a good challenge by the Malaysians. So that means there's just 1 point in it now. And they still have one challenge remaining.
And they probably feel that they are on their way of making a comeback, because they've struggled in the last part of the third game. The first part of the third game. But now it's equal.
And it's absolutely extraordinary, and it's why this sport of badminton is just so fascinating, because the ebb and flow of one pair gets the domination. You think that the Malaysians, I said a moment ago when they lost, what was it, 7 of 8 points, you know, well, the Malaysian fans will be in despair at the moment, and look, their pair have come back. It's all level. It's 1 game all and 15 all in the deciding game. Yep, but he is struggling with that serve, isn't he?
16-15.
Yeah, and I think actually Yeon hit the net court.
17-15.
Service fault called again above the waist.
16-17.
But he shouldn't be surprised because he's serving the same way he's been serving all match.
Yeah, now look at that. Below the lowest rib. If the waist was anything like what you and I call a waist, I mean, there would be no question.
No.
Even with that, I don't think there's any question.
No. That was a loose shot.
Yeah.
Punished by Yeon.
Service over. 18-16.
Yeah. What was that? Hesitation, and it ended up as a half-court lift. That's not... Is that 3 consecutive returns of serve he's found the net court? How weak Kiong?
The players, they practice in hitting the net court.
Yeah.
If you hit it in a certain way, sort of top spin it a little bit in order to use a tennis term,
Yeah.
there's a good chance that it will
Oh,
pass the net.
still phenomenal to make it happen. Well, there's another net court return of serve. This time
Service
from
over.
Yong Day.
19-17.
Yeah, the point you made earlier on, Steen, I don't think he's even tried a flick serve yet. I wonder if he'll try it now. So there's more likelihood of getting called for above the waist on a flick serve because you naturally lift the arm in which you're holding the shuttle, and if you're lifting your arm, then of course you're going to strike the shuttle even higher. What's he going to do? Yeah, low serve.
Service over. 18-19.
3 more points for the Malaysians.
Yeah, but only 2 needed for the Koreans. This is all desperate stuff. There's a
First
serve.
flicker.
Oh, my goodness me! How on earth did he do that?
Who saved it? Fantastic play by Lee Yong-dae.
Unbelievable! The flick serve was superb. Young Sung slipped over. He played the next shots off the floor. His defence was absolutely incredible.
20 match point.
Well, a real lesson in why it's worth fighting. Keep the shuttle going. You never know. You can just get away with it. And they haven't just got away with it. It is 2 match point opportunities. Extraordinary. Good serve. Well, that's 1 match point
Service
saved.
over. 19-20.
Well, it's Go V Shen to serve.
That's a real question whether he will get this serve over the net.
Yeah, pressure.
Perhaps a flicker.
Now, Lee Yong-dae's making him wait even longer. Adds to the tension. Oh,
Good
it's a good
service.
serve. Unbelievable. Oh, my goodness! What a rally again! 20 all.
20 all.
Extraordinary badminton. And look at the delight from the Malaysians.
Wouldn't it be great to have a pulse sensor on the two Malaysian coaches right now?
Oh, extra points. Goodness me. Can he hold his nerve on his serve again? Yes, he does. It's gone long.
Well played.
They've just saved. Oh, there's going to be a challenge. Is there a challenge?
It's out.
There's no question it's out, surely. Oh, I'm getting too excited. Nah, that's definitely long. That's, in badminton terms, that's way long of the back line. So after saving 2 match points, now the Malaysians have a match point opportunity themselves. Oh, that's well saved.
That's really well played, because that's a really difficult shot in that situation.
21 all.
That one.
That one. He sliced it a little bit in order to keep it inside.
Yeah. Launching himself towards the net. Oh my goodness me. I think we all have to sit down and have a cup of tea after this. 21 all. Oh, he's pushed it wide!
Excellent service return from Go.
Service over. 22-21.
22-21. And now a second match point opportunity for the Malaysians. Oh, it's all happening. The shuttle bouncing off the top of the net and going over, badly deflected, affecting the Malaysian response. Look at that. Actually, he did well to even reach it, but the shot going wide.
Shows how small the margins are.
Yeah. Oh, the error from Agobi Shem. So will it be third time lucky for Korea? Well, his serve has been so good throughout the match. And then on his third match point opportunity, finds the net. Goodness me. (23 all).
Play.
Oh, that's short.
Excellent play by the Koreans there. Good interception by Lee Yong-dae.
24-23.
Match points opportunity number 4 for Korea. Oh, good umpiring, telling the players to play on. I know we've had an hour and 13 minutes of pulsating badminton. Yep, you've got to play on. Everybody feeling the nerves, everybody wanting to take their time. You cannot play a tighter net shot than that from Tan Wee Kiong. How on earth did he keep his nerve to play such a shot? Look at that! Perfection at this stage of a match is nothing short of miraculous. My goodness me. And so the drama goes on. 24 all. Yeah, big gap. Well found by Lee Yong Day.
25, 24.
And he's stepped up here in the setting, Lee Yong Day.
Fifth match point opportunity for Korea. Good serve. Clever. My goodness, that took courage.
I thought that was close.
He was awfully confident that was going long. Look, he stops about the mid-court area, and he was absolutely right. Good serve. Sensational. And the Malaysians really getting on the attack. That's what you were urging them to do, Steen.
25.
Good coverage of the court by Go.
Yeah. Well,
Maintains the attack.
for the Malaysians now. I make that now a third match point opportunity in this men's doubles. They've done it! Would you believe it? What a sensational opening match in this Group D tie. The men's doubles goes to Malaysia. They had to survive 5 match point opportunities against them. And the world number ones suffer defeat to this relatively new Malaysian pair.
14 and 27, 25.
The umpire confirms the score, 27-25 in the deciding game. But my goodness me, I for one thought in this deciding game, when the Koreans won 7 of 8 points from those early stages to change ends with the advantage, 11-7 it was at the mid-game interval in this deciding game. But my goodness, what a thrilling match. 20, 22, 21, 14, 27, 25 in an hour and 18 minutes of simply thrilling badminton. Well, my goodness me, Steen, what a wonderful way to get us off on our first evening session. What a great men's doubles. Well, all the drama and all the excitement of that men's doubles. We're almost an hour and a half since the session began, and it's only one match to love as far as the tie is concerned between the number 2 seeds, Korea and Malaysia. Next up, as you can see, is women's singles, then it's men's singles, and the return of the former world number 1 Lee Chong-wei for Malaysia. Then women's doubles, and of course we will play all 5 matches within the tie. The last match, of course, being the mixed doubles, and lovely to see Go Liu Ying back on the badminton court after operations on both her knees. That, of course, will be the last match this evening, the mixed doubles. Well, as you can see, there is 5 courts in action here in this wonderful stadium in Dongguan. 35 teams here at this year's Sudirman Cup. 31 teams 2 years ago. Good to have more teams competing each year in this World Mixed Team Championship that is the Sudirman Cup. And of course the Sudirman Cup is named after Dick Sudirman, former Indonesian badminton player. He was the founder of the Badminton Association of Indonesia, as well as its chairman for 22 years. He was also a vice president of the IBF, as it was then, the International Badminton Federation, now the BWF, of course. Well, here come the players for the second of our matches in this evening's tie, and it is women's singles, and Sung Ji-hyun of Korea, and a surprise selection maybe with Lim Yin-fun of Malaysia. I say surprise selection because she is actually the 5th ranked Malaysian on the women's singles world ranking list, and of course their number 1 player T Jin-yi is perhaps better known to some, but Lim Yin-fun is just 20 years of age, born in Kuala Lumpur.
Yellow.
And
Red.
I know that
Receive.
she has a huge amount of talent. Stephen Temple from Wales is our umpire for this one. There she is, 111 in the world ranking at the moment, up 21 places this week. Lim Yin-fun, and that's quite a difference to her opponent, who is number 7 on the world ranking. And Sung Ji-hyun will of course be known around the world to all badminton fans because she has actually been as high as 4, and she's the daughter of 2 very famous badminton players, her mother Kim Yeon and father Sung Ha-kwok, who of course are both international badminton players. And giving away my age, I used to play against her mother. There's confirmation that she's number 7 in the world ranking. This year she won the German Grand Prix gold, beating the current world champion Carolina Marin in the final. And the Malaysian here, as I say, 20 years of age,